What's good, guys? Welcome to episode 3. It's already ready already. I'm your host, Joe Massi. And this week, what's already ready is the best female MC. Then we're going to get into 2 local Philly legends, RJ Payne and Journalist.
It's already ready already, but you knew that. Mr. Boom Bap, like shares, page views by the thousands. Joseph E. Bags, he's bringing back nostalgia.
We're not talking about the pioneers, right? So Queen Latifah, MC Light, Salt and Pepper, they're not, Roxanne, they're not in this debate. And neither are all of the new girls like Megan and Glow and Doshi and Bia. We're talking about 90s and early 2000s top 5 female MCs of all time. So my list is Nicki Minaj at number 1. No female rapper on the planet that I know of is better than Nicki. That's just the bottom line. If you can get on a song with Kanye, Rick Ross, and Jay-Z, embody all 3 of them, I mean, that's all you need to know, right? She's holding her own with Wayne, with Drake. It's unbelievable. She flipped Notorious Thugs. I mean, come on.
Barbie dangerous. We bitches don't endanger us. You are over, you ain't in range of us. Cause I 1111 angel numbers.
Even in the beginning with the Warning freestyle, like that's the first time I heard her back in the day with the first mixtape, Sucker Free, I think it was. So Nicki gets the number 1 spot as far as I'm concerned. Number 2 is Lil' Kim. Now, speaking of Biggie, like Kim was the only one who could hold her own with Big, right? And if you've heard the Will They Die For You verse she had on Mace's album, it's unbelievable. It's one of the hardest verses I've ever heard in my life. Kim absolutely, as far as album, she kind of fell off after the first one, right? A lot of people do, but she absolutely has bars, if we're talking about lyricism. Number 3 for me, and so when you talk about a woman who can hold her own with one of the all-time greats like Biggie, number 3 for me is Remy Ma. Pun had her on his second album, Yeah Baby. Remy, Sheether, all the stuff she's been doing lately, but even in the beginning, like when she was on Pun's album, when she was on Fat Joe's album, Plata a Plomo, the joint album they did together, all the way up, Lean Back, everything she's done has just been top notch. She did a freestyle recently. It was unbelievable. So Remy gets the number 3 spot. Number 4 goes to Cardi B. Cardi can rap. I don't care what anybody says about OnlyFans and the love and hip hop shit. Cardi can rap. I know she's only had 2 albums out, but she's doing all right for herself. Nobody needs to worry about that. But Cardi can, 1000%, Cardi can rap. So rounding out the top 5. Now, I guess she may have started around the same time as Queen Latifah and those guys, and she's only had 1 album out, and she does a lot of singing, but Lauryn Hill is rounding out my top 5 as far as best female MCs from the 90s and early 2000s, right? We're not doing 80s. We're not doing any of the new school chicks that are out there right now. But Lauryn rounds out the top 5 for me. And so if you take a look back, we have Nicki at number 1. We have Lil' Kim at number 2. We have Remy Ma at number 3. We have Cardi B at number 4. And we have Lauryn Hill at number 5. And I think for me, although she is kind of new, but she's got that 90s boom bap vibe to her. Young M.A. gets honorable mention. All right, so next segment is going to be dedicated to RJ Payne. I'm from Southwest. And the 2 Roll for the Streets, Frank with the Grippers, Eddie Morris, Rain Man, that whole crew, they just put out some unbelievable music when we were kids, and they're still doing it to this day, right? I think Reed is with the Clover G's, and Rain Man has transformed multiple times. He's now RJ Payne. But if we go back to the beginning, the first time I saw him, it was Reed Dollaz as a very young kid, and it was Slaughter Rico. And they went up to New York to battle 3 New York MCs whose names I completely forget on a 2 Roll for the Streets DVD. And Reed was so animated, they had to hold him back. Slaughter Rico with the something with the ring. I kill you before the bell goes ding, ding, ding. He murdered the whole crowd with 1 bar. Reed murdered the dude he was with, and Rain Man was unbelievable. He had a white shirt with the bandana on. I remember vividly. I was in awe of these guys, and to think like they were from, some of them were from Southwest, and to think like they were from my neighborhood, and this was so different than like Will Smith, right? Will Smith was the only frame of reference you had. I couldn't get my hands on much Ram Squad, and I saw these DVDs long before I really started paying attention to major figures, and then certainly long before Jay and Beans helped form State Property. But to watch his transformation, he won an MTV battle, right? And I don't really know what transpired in between, but I know that he had a period of time where he was active as Rain Man. And then he had a period of time, it was heavy mixtape era, where he had a period where his name was Izzy, Izzie, For Real. His last name was For Real. And Izzy For Real, he put out a bunch more mixtapes under Izzy For Real. And then again, he had a little break, and I believe he was recording his Murder in Less Than 60 Seconds freestyles on Instagram. And one caught the eye of Lord Jamar. Lord Jamar reposted it, and I think someone else found it from there, and then someone else found it from there. I think maybe he may have mentioned Missy. I'm not really sure. But from doing those Murder in Less Than 60 Second freestyles, right, where basically he murders a beat in 60 seconds or less, he has parlayed that into an unbelievably successful career. He's dropping singles like every week, and he does something amazing where there's a different cover for every song, and the cover changes and the title changes every time he drops a single. He adds it to an album. So the first record comes out, it's a single, it has a cover. Second record comes out, new cover. Now there's 2 records in the album. Third record comes out, now there's 3 in the album. Fourth one comes out, now it's an EP, and so on and so forth. The way that he releases the music, like we thought Kanye had a dope idea where he would put it was almost like music as a service, right? Where he would keep changing Pablo, but that felt like a gimmick. It felt like a mistake, and it was only a one-time thing as far as I know. Like that whole Donda on the stem player, it didn't really come to fruition. But he's just simply releasing these records to Spotify, to Apple Music, to YouTube Music in such a cool way. Like, salute, cuz I think that, clearly I've been following you since I was a kid and since the very beginning. And the path that he's on now, right, where he's with Ice-T, they remade New Jack City as a musical concept of Nino waking up. He was in a coma when he fell off the banister. Like, everything is just so, I just appreciate the art so much. I appreciate their contribution so much that I'm following along, and I can't wait to see what's next. So now our third segment is going to be Journalist. So Journ, if you're out there, I've been trying to hit you up. You got me stalking you like an ex-girlfriend. So I met Journalist about 25 years ago. One of my close friends, Jonathan, his DJ name was DJ Rebel. And he somehow, I forget exactly what the specifics were, but somehow Rebel hooked up with Journalist. However, Journ's family lived around the corner from my uncle's body shop in South Philly. So I would see him there once in a blue moon as well. But Rebel and a few other guys, I think Vinny, Phil, it rotated. Rebel had an apartment, and it was one of the most unbelievable times in our lives, right? We still talk about E6 till this day. But the soda incident happened while we were at E6. Tons of things happened at E6. But in any event, Journalist recorded the lion's share of his first Formula 16 mixtape at E6, at Rebel's apartment, in Rebel's home studio. And just being there, in the room, listening, watching General stop by. Then they were doing freestyles for Rebel's album. To hear Q-Deezy and Cosmic Kev on interludes. He's got a record with R. Kelly. The Wake Up intro, I don't know who he's talking about. I would love to know who he's talking about, but the Wake Up intro was unbelievable. There's like 22 tracks on this mixtape. It's called Formula 16, which is a phenomenal name, by the way. And he describes it as an offspring of Scribes of Life, which was his first album that he officially released through a major label. And being there, being able to watch him, being able to hear him record, it changed us. Like I know I speak for myself, and I could speak for Dan, our friend Poop, when I say that it changed us musically. It was such an unbelievable moment in time. And then he became friends with a guy named Greg that I went to Newman with. And to have him go off, and then he did the Corporation mixtape, and then he did preseason and off season and postseason, and while supplies last. I've been, again, just like with Rain Man, just like with Dutch. I had the pleasure of speaking to Dutch yesterday. Blew my mind. I explained to him, just like I'm explaining to you guys, that I grew up listening to these people as a kid. I grew up with them. I've been following along my whole life. It's so much easier now to follow along than ever before. And to be talking to them, to be able to talk about them, it's just so unbelievably amazing. It was humbling yesterday to be able to speak to Dutch and chop it up for a minute. And he told me he was honored, right? Like the real recognize real. When you pay it forward, it comes back to you. And so I would love to know. I think he had the Jewelers. It's him and one other person. They had a couple records out. I think they're just about to release a new either record or full album. I called Jern on a podcast maybe like a year and a half ago. He said new music was coming because hit me up. I've been trying to get at you. I would love to have you on. Dutch, I would love to have you on. Appreciate you guys. Salute. I love everything that's going on right now. I'm following along on the gram. And it is what it is. It's already ready already. Episode 3's in the can. Later.
It's already ready already, but you knew that. Mr. Boom Bap, like shares, page views by the thousands. Joseph V.